Have you ever felt like your life was stuck at a red light? You were ready, waiting, prepared, watching everyone else move ahead, while you sat still with your foot on the brake. Deep inside, you knew you were meant for more, but no matter how much effort you put in, nothing seemed to shift. Doors didn't open. Opportunity slipped through your fingers. It was like something invisible was holding you in place. That season had a purpose, but now something powerful has changed. Right now, whether you realize it or not, a divine signal has been released over your life. The light has turned green. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, you're being given permission to move forward. That invisible resistance is lifting. The heaviness you once felt is loosening its grip. And if you're sensitive enough to notice, you can already feel the atmosphere around you changing. This isn't just a coincidence. This is your confirmation. This message isn't for everyone. It's for those who've endured long nights and silent seasons. It's for those who kept walking even when it felt like nothing was happening. It's for the ones who felt unseen, overlooked, or delayed, but still held on. You didn't give up, even when it would have been easier to. And because of that, something has shifted in your favor. The green light is God's way of saying, go. The time you've been waiting for has arrived. Picture this. You've been at a crossroads for a long time, unsure which way to go, waiting for a clear sign. Then suddenly, the traffic light flicks from red to green. It's instant. 1 second everything is on hold, and the next, movement begins. That's exactly what's happening in your life right now. The red light season was real, it was slow, frustrating, and at times, heartbreaking. But the green light season is about movement, momentum, and ease. It's about stepping into everything that once felt just out of reach. But here's something crucial. When a green light appears, you still have to press the accelerator. A light can turn green all day, but if the driver doesn't move, nothing happens. This is your cue to move. Take the opportunity. Say yes. Step forward. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Perfection isn't required when divine timing is in play. What matters is your willingness to act when the signal appears. If this message is stirring something in you, that's your inner confirmation. Don't ignore it. Comment 9 below to claim it. And more importantly, take a moment to like and share this with someone who might be stuck at their own red light, waiting for their turn. Your confirmation could be the sign they've been praying for. This is the start of a new chapter. As we move into the next sections, you'll understand why the delays happen, how to recognize the green light clearly, and how to protect your momentum once things start moving fast. But right now, take this in fully. Your light has turned green. The wait is over. The shift has begun. And this time, it's not just another moment, it's the moment you've been prepared for. Let's be honest, waiting seasons can feel brutal. It's not just the stillness that hurts. It's the uncertainty that eats at you. You question yourself, your path, your timing. You wonder if you missed a sign somewhere along the way, or if the doors close because you weren't good enough. You replay moments in your head, searching for where things could have gone differently. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Delays aren't denials, and they're rarely accidental. Every season of delay has layers. Sometimes, it's about timing. Sometimes, it's about alignment. And sometimes, it's simply about protection. Life has a way of holding certain things back until the foundation is strong enough to carry them. Think about a building under construction. Before the walls go up and the exterior looks impressive, there's a long, often invisible process of digging, stabilizing, and laying the base. That phase is slow. It's not glamorous. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening, but underneath, something crucial is taking shape. Your delays were exactly that. While you were frustrated, feeling like the world was moving without you, your life was quietly being prepared for what's next. People who rushed ahead may have seemed like they were winning, but some of them were moving on shaky ground. You, on the other hand, were being prepared to move on solid ground. That's why doors didn't open prematurely. That's why certain opportunities didn't work out. Even when they looked perfect on paper, the pause wasn't punishment. It was precision. There's also another layer to delay that few talk about. Sometimes, your environment isn't ready for you yet. You can be fully prepared, but if the people, places, or circumstances you're meant to connect with aren't in position, moving too early can lead to unnecessary struggle. Imagine showing up at a train station 2 hours before the train arrives. You're ready, but the train isn't, so you wait not because you're wrong, but because the timing hasn't aligned yet. When that alignment finally happens, movement feels effortless. Right now, the spiritual atmosphere around you is shifting. The season of delay that once held you in place is losing its authority over your timeline. The blockages that once made progress feel like pushing through mud or breaking apart. The clock that felt paused is ticking again. You might not have noticed the exact moment it happened, but something has expired your delay. That invisible "not yet" that hovered over your plans has been lifted. You may even start to see this manifest in subtle ways. First, tasks that once felt exhausting start flowing. Conversations that used to lead nowhere suddenly open new doors. Ideas you parked a while ago now seem relevant again. The energy is different because the season has changed. This is often how it happens, quietly at first, then unmistakably. But here's the key. Recognizing that your delay season has expired is just as important as experiencing it. Some people stay parked even after the red light turns green because they're still mentally stuck in waiting mode. Don't let that be you. Don't carry the mindset of delay into a season of acceleration. The waiting season had its place. It built resilience. It sharpened your instincts. It taught you patience and discernment. But that chapter is closed now. You're no longer in a holding pattern. You're being invited to move forward with confidence, without second-guessing every step. If the delay is over, the next question becomes, how do you know the green light has truly been given? Recognizing those signals clearly is what allows you to move without hesitation. Let's get into that next. When a new season begins, it rarely arrives with loud announcements or flashing neon signs. Most of the time, it starts quietly. There's a subtle shift in the air. Your inner world starts picking up on cues before your outer world fully reflects them. That's how divine timing usually works. It whispers before it shouts. The key is learning how to recognize the signs, so you don't miss the moment. One of the first indicators of a green light season is a sudden sense of clarity. It's not necessarily about having all the answers, but there's a noticeable clearing of mental fog. Ideas that once felt complicated now seem simple. Confusion gives way to direction. You stop obsessing over what ifs and begin to sense a quiet, this is it. This clarity doesn't always arrive through a big event. Sometimes it comes in a quiet moment when you least expect it. You might wake up one morning and just know something's shifted. Another strong sign is the lifting of heaviness. For a long time, you may have felt like every step forward was weighed down. Even the smallest tasks felt tiring. Motivation was low. And it wasn't because you lacked discipline, it was because you were carrying spiritual weight that wasn't meant to be permanent. When the green light comes, that weight begins to fall off. You start feeling lighter. Things that once required intense effort begin to flow more naturally. This isn't about everything becoming easy, but there's a noticeable ease compared to before. Unusual alignments are also a key sign. You start encountering the right people at the right time. Conversations lead to opportunities. Emails arrive at perfect moments. Doors that were previously locked start opening with little resistance. It's not forced. You're not chasing. Things are finding you. These alignments aren't random, they're often signals that the timing has caught up with your preparation. Pay attention, too, to your internal peace. Even when stepping into something new feels slightly intimidating, there's a grounded sense inside you that says, this is the right move. It's a quiet confidence that doesn't depend on circumstances. If fear is noise, peace is clarity. When the green light appears, your spirit doesn't panic. It steadies itself. There's also something many overlook: confirmation through repetition. When the right season begins, you might notice similar themes: phrases, or opportunities repeating in your environment. It's like the same message echoing in different ways until you can't ignore it anymore. A conversation with a stranger mirrors a thought you had earlier. A song lyric or a random line you read resonates with your current situation. These repetitions aren't coincidences, they're signals meant to catch your attention. You may also experience a sudden acceleration of opportunities. Projects that were on pause suddenly pick up speed. New invitations appear. Decisions you were once unsure about now feel obvious. The pace increases, but instead of overwhelming you, it energizes you. That's how divine green lights work. They bring movement with momentum. However, here's where many people miss their moment. They expect the green light to appear in one dramatic way, but in reality, it often shows up through a combination of these subtle signals. It's less like a single switch being flipped and more like a series of aligned clicks that eventually make everything fall into place. Your job is to stay aware. Don't brush off these signs as coincidences. They're clues pointing you forward. The more you pay attention, the sharper your discernment becomes. You start to trust those internal nudges without needing constant external validation. That's a powerful place to be in because it allows you to move confidently when others hesitate. Once you can identify these signals clearly, the next step is responding to them with bold action. Because when the green light appears, timing is everything. That's where acceleration begins. And that's exactly what we'll dive into in the next section. When the light finally turns green, everything changes. What felt like slow motion suddenly shifts into fast forward. There's a burst of momentum that catches many people off guard. You've spent so long in waiting mode that movement can feel unfamiliar at first, even a little overwhelming. But acceleration is a natural part of stepping into divine timing. Once you move in alignment, the pace of progress increases dramatically. Think about how a car behaves at a green light. It can sit idle forever, but the moment the driver presses the accelerator, there's immediate forward motion. If the driver hesitates too long, traffic piles up, and opportunities to flow smoothly are lost. Life works in a similar rhythm. When the signal to move comes, responding with action creates a ripple effect. Each step forward opens the next door faster than you expect. Acceleration doesn't always look dramatic at first. Sometimes, it starts with a series of small wins that happen back to back. A task you've been putting off gets completed effortlessly. A conversation that used to stall suddenly moves toward collaboration. You take one bold step, and then two more open up almost immediately. It's as if the universe was waiting for you to say yes before everything else rearranged itself to support your movement. This is why obedience to the signal matters. Green lights mean nothing if you stay stuck at the intersection. Many people pray for progress, but freeze when it finally shows up, because they expect it to feel comfortable. Acceleration rarely feels comfortable in the beginning. It's fast, it's intense, and it pushes you to trust your preparation rather than overthink every move. The beauty of acceleration is that it carries its own momentum. You don't have to force everything. Once you make the first move, the flow begins to carry you. Another sign of this acceleration phase is the shortening of timelines. What used to take months suddenly happens in weeks. Delays vanish. Opportunities that once felt distant begin arriving sooner than expected. People who were previously unavailable now respond quickly. Situations that were tangled become simple. It's like invisible traffic has cleared, and now you're on an open road. This isn't random, it's the natural result of alignment. When you're in the right season, and you act in sync with it, life stops resisting and starts cooperating. But acceleration doesn't mean chaos. It means flow with focus. To handle this season well, you have to become intentional. Prioritize what truly matters. Let go of unnecessary distractions. Say yes to what aligns, and confidently say no to what doesn't. Think of it like steering a fast-moving car. You don't panic. Because of the speed, you focus more sharply to stay on course. You might also notice an internal shift during this phase. Doubt starts losing its grip. Where you once second-guessed yourself, now there's a quiet determination. Your decisions are bolder. Your steps are more decisive. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. You're no longer trying to push open locked doors. You're walking through doors that are swinging wide on their own. Acceleration also tests your ability to trust the process. Things will happen quickly, and you may not fully understand every development as it unfolds. That's okay. Speed doesn't require full visibility, it requires steady movement. The moment you overanalyze, you risk slowing down the flow. Instead of fighting it, lean into it. Take one step at a time, and let each action build on the previous one. The acceleration phase is exhilarating, because it often confirms what you sensed all along. You weren't stuck forever, you were simply waiting for the right signal. Now that the green light has come, and you've started moving, doors that were once distant are now within reach. This is where momentum builds, and the breakthroughs you once imagined start unfolding in real time. But acceleration isn't just about your effort. It's also about what starts showing up for you. And that's where the next section comes in, because once you step into this new flow, favor starts to find you in ways you couldn't manufacture on your own. Once you step into alignment and start moving when the green light appears, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop chasing, and favor starts finding you. Opportunities that once felt distant begin to approach on their own. The energy around you shifts from forcing to attracting, from searching to being positioned. It's not magic. It's what happens when timing, preparation, and bold movement finally meet. For a long time, you were the one reaching out, applying, pitching, waiting for responses, hoping something would click. It often felt like knocking on door after door with no answer. But in this new season, it's different. The calls start coming to you. People you never imagined connecting with suddenly reach out. Messages appear in your inbox that align perfectly with what you've been working toward. You begin to find yourself in the right rooms, in the right conversations, and at the right moments, without even trying to orchestrate it. This is the power of favor. It's not about luck. It's about being in the right position at the right time. Imagine a magnet and metal shavings. When the magnet is in place, the metal doesn't need to chase it, they're drawn to it naturally. That's what this season feels like. All the preparation, waiting, and trusting through delays was positioning you to become magnetic to the right things. One of the first signs that favor is locating you is unexpected support. People step forward to help without you asking. Doors open through connections you didn't even know you had. Someone mentions your name in a room you weren't in, and it leads to something significant. These moments might seem random, but they're not. They're indicators that you've stepped into a flow where external circumstances are beginning to work on your behalf. Another way favor reveals itself is through effortless breakthroughs. Things that used to take endless convincing or struggling now happen quickly. A deal closes smoothly. A collaboration falls into place without weeks of negotiation. The difference isn't that you've suddenly become more persuasive. It's that you're no longer pushing against timing. When you move in alignment, life stops resisting your progress. You may also notice doors opening that you didn't even know existed. Sometimes, the most powerful opportunities are the ones that never crossed your radar before. A conversation leads to a completely new path. A chance encounter unlocks something bigger than you planned. This is why staying open and responsive during this phase is crucial. Favor doesn't always come in the shape you expect. It often surprises you. It's important, though, to understand that favor isn't passive. It's not about sitting back and waiting for things to drop into your lap. It's about being ready when they arrive. When opportunities locate you, your response determines whether they stay. If you're prepared mentally, emotionally, and practically, you can step into them with confidence. If you're not, they can pass you by just as quickly as they appear. That's why everything you went through in the waiting season matters. It built the readiness you need for this moment. As favor increases, you might also notice your environment reacting. Some people will celebrate your rise, while others may become distant or even critical. Don't let that distract you. Favor often exposes who's genuinely for you, and who only supported you when you were in waiting mode. Your job isn't to convince anyone, it's to keep walking through the doors that are opening. This season is about flow, not force. Instead of knocking on closed doors, you're walking through open ones. Instead of begging for opportunities, you're being invited into them. Instead of chasing recognition, the right eyes are beginning to notice you. Naturally, that's the shift. That's the sign you're no longer in a holding pattern. You're in a season where favor is moving toward you, but with favor comes a new responsibility: protecting it. Momentum can be lost just as quickly as it's gained if you're not intentional. That's why the next section is critical. Once favor starts locating you, you must learn how to protect your momentum so distractions, doubt, or unnecessary noise don't derail what's unfolding. When things finally start moving in your favor, it's easy to assume the hardest part is over. But in reality, this is the stage where many people unintentionally lose what they've gained. Momentum is powerful, but it's also fragile. If you don't guard it carefully, distractions, doubt, or unnecessary detours can slowly drain the energy that was propelling you forward. Protecting your momentum isn't about fear, it's about focus. The first thing to understand is that momentum attracts both opportunities and distractions. The same visibility that brings new doors can also bring noise. People who never paid attention before might suddenly start appearing in your life. Not all of them are meant to walk with you into this next phase. Some will genuinely support you. Others may bring drama, envy, or hidden agendas. Your discernment becomes critical here. You need to know who to keep close, who to love from a distance, and who to completely step away from. One subtle momentum killer is overcommitment. When things start flowing, you may feel pressure to say yes to everything out of excitement or fear of missing out. But spreading yourself too thin can weaken your impact. Momentum thrives in focus, not scattered energy. Learn to prioritize what aligns with your vision and say no even to good things if they don't serve your current direction. The green light doesn't mean every lane is for you. It means your lane is open. Stay in it. Another major factor is internal doubt. Even in seasons of acceleration, old thoughts can creep in. You might question whether you deserve the opportunities showing up or worry that everything will disappear as quickly as it came. These doubts are momentum traps. They cause hesitation, second guessing, and self-sabotage. To protect your flow, you have to catch these thoughts early and refuse to let them set the tone. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's trust in the process that brought you here. Distractions often disguise themselves as harmless detours. They might come through sudden personal conflicts, unnecessary debates, or temptations to return to old patterns. Sometimes, it's not even external, it's the urge to slow down. Just because you're not used to sustained movement, you might start procrastinating, overanalyzing, or retreating into comfort zones. The key is awareness. Recognize these patterns for what they are, tests of whether you can handle success without losing focus. Practical structure also plays a big role in protecting momentum. This is where discipline becomes your ally. Create routines that keep you grounded. Set clear boundaries with your time and energy. Be intentional about what you consume, who you listen to, and where your attention goes. Momentum doesn't just need passion, it needs structure to keep growing. Another overlooked element is emotional regulation. When opportunities multiply, emotions can run high, both positive and negative. Excitement can turn into burnout if not managed. Criticism can trigger insecurity if you're not mentally prepared. Protecting momentum means learning to stay centered, no matter what's happening around you. Celebrate wins, but don't get lost in them. Address setbacks, but don't spiral over them. Keep your inner world stable so your outer world can keep moving. Also, be aware that not everyone will understand your new pace. Some people may project their own fears or insecurities onto you. Others might subtly try to slow you down to make themselves feel more comfortable. This is where your focus matters most. You don't need to explain every move. You just need to keep moving. Protecting momentum is about recognizing that this phase is not just a reward, it's a responsibility. Everything you've been waiting for is now unfolding, and your job is to steward it wisely. The same way a driver stays alert even when the road is smooth, you need to stay attentive as things accelerate, not out of anxiety, but out of awareness. Because the truth is, when you protect your momentum, you're not just preserving progress, you're multiplying it. Each day of focused movement compounds the results. Each distraction you avoid strengthens your direction. In each boundary you set clears space for more growth. In the final section, we'll bring everything together. It's time to step boldly into this new chapter, not timidly, not halfway, but with full confidence in the path that's opening before you. This is the moment everything has been leading to. The waiting season shaped you. The signs confirmed the shift. Momentum has started to build. Now, it's time to do something that many find harder than it sounds. Step fully and boldly into the new season. It's one thing to recognize that the light has turned green. It's another thing entirely to press the accelerator without holding back. Many people reach this point and freeze, not because they're ungrateful or unaware, but because stepping into something new often comes with a mixture of excitement and fear. The unknown can be intimidating, even when it's everything you've been waiting for. But this is where courage matters more than perfection. Boldness doesn't mean you won't feel nervous. It means you'll move forward even with that nervous energy present. The key is to stop waiting, to feel ready in some flawless, calm way. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. You've already been equipped through every delay, every challenge, and every quiet moment of preparation. This season isn't about hesitation, it's about trust in what's unfolding. When you step boldly, something powerful happens. The world around you adjusts to your stance. Opportunities respond to confidence. People sense decisiveness and align accordingly. Doors open faster for those who walk toward them with conviction. This doesn't mean you have to have every step mapped out. It means you show up fully, without dragging the fear of the past into your future. This is also the season where you stop apologizing for your timing. For years, you may have had to explain why things were taking so long, why you were in a waiting season, or why certain decisions didn't make sense to others. But now, you don't need to justify. This is your time to move without permission from anyone else. You've been released from delay. You don't owe explanations for your acceleration. As you step forward, your perspective matters just as much as your actions. If you walk into this new season constantly looking over your shoulder, afraid that everything might fall apart, you'll miss the joy of what's actually happening. But if you walk in with a posture of expectation, believing that things are aligning for you, you'll notice more doors, more ease, and more opportunities flowing your way. Another key is to stay present. Don't rush so fast that you forget to appreciate the season you're stepping into. For so long, your focus was on, when will it happen? Now it's happening. Take a breath, feel it, own it. This is the reward for your patience and perseverance. Be intentional about celebrating milestones, no matter how small. They are proof that the red light season has truly ended. And finally, make a clear internal commitment. I will not shrink back. New seasons bring new levels of responsibility and visibility. There will be moments where retreat feels safer, especially when challenges appear. But remember, this challenges in a green light season are not signs to stop. They're opportunities to rise. You've been through worse. You've endured delays that would have broken others. Now that the path is clear, this is the time to stand tall, not hold back. Say it to yourself like a declaration. I'm moving forward, not timidly, not halfway, fully. This is the chapter where things start flowing, where opportunities recognize you, where your preparation meets perfect timing. You're not waiting anymore. You're walking confidently. If you know this word resonates with you, type, "I'm moving forward" in the comments. This isn't just a phrase, It's a statement of faith in your own journey. Share this message with another chosen, one who's been waiting for their confirmation. Sometimes, the right words at the right time can be the nudge someone else needs to step boldly to. This new season is not coming. It's here. The light has turned green. The road is clear. The delays have expired. Momentum is building. Favor is finding you. And now, the only thing left to do is move.